friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and I'm here with my friend Kel today to talk to you about two brand new books that I've just recently read that I absolutely fell in love with. They're fantastic, and I hope that you'll fall in love with them too. I also have a furry coworker here helping me out, so if you see his little ears popping up, that's Chaplin. So the first book I want to talk to you about is called The Book of Lost Names, and this is by Kristin Harmel. The Book of Lost Names. And you might be thinking that I was interested in this book primarily because of the book on the title, on the cover and in the title, and you would be right. But it was fantastic. It's a historical fiction novel set in World War II. And I know what you're thinking. The market has been flooded with World War II historical fiction novels within the past few years. For good reason. They're very popular. People love reading about it. They're emotional stories about people and family and really just survival. And this one is no different, but it really stood out in my mind as just a phenomenal example of historical fiction. And the ending had me crying. And it's been a really long time since a historical fiction book has gotten me to that place emotionally. So I really recommend this, The Book of Lost Names. So this takes place in present day, starts out in present day rather, and it features Ava, who is an elderly librarian in Florida. Oh, I just love books about librarians. Anyway, she's in Florida and she sees this broadcast on the television from this bookseller in Germany who has countless books that were stolen from Jewish people by Nazis in World War II, and he's trying to track down all the original owners. Well, Ava recognizes one of the books as the Book of Lost Names. It's this religious French text that is very, very important to her. And it has this cipher in it that nobody can decode. But Ava can, because it's her cipher and she knows exactly what it is. So she travels to Germany to get reunited with this book. And as she's doing that, her story unfolds and we get to relive it. So Ava is a Jewish young woman living with her mother and father in Paris in the early 1940s. And Nazis have taken over the city. They're shipping people out, and Ava and her mother luckily do escape. However, her father gets taken and is sent to Auschwitz. So her mother and her are escaped to this French countryside town where Ava gets involved in this forgery business where she's helping the resistance, the French resistance, forge these documents for children to get these children over the border into Switzerland and into safety. So she is working on these hundreds and hundreds of different documents for these children that are hidden throughout town. She helps them get all across. But she doesn't want their identities to be gone forever, even if it's just her that remembers them. Because they're given new names, they're sent into Christian families, but she doesn't want their Jewish their Jewish livelihood, their names, who they are, where they came from to be lost. So in this book, she creates this coding system where she lists all their names and where they're from in this really elaborate way so the common person wouldn't be able to figure it out. So that's what the Book of Lost Names is. It's the names of and identities of all these Jewish children that had to be taken to safety during World War II. So this book is, as you can probably imagine, is very emotional. It's also very intense. There's a lot of action happening in terms of hiding and these forgeries and getting these children to safety. But it's just absolutely so beautiful, and it's amazing to watch Ava, who is terrified, for her mother, for herself, but really just being so brave and courageous. And it just brings to mind all the courageous people during World War II who really did things like this to help people. So this is a really beautiful, uplifting book. If you don't read a lot of historical fiction, this is a really good one to go with. Even if you do read a lot of historical fiction, you're getting tired of the genre, I would absolutely still recommend this because it's really great and brings a lot of new, fresh ideas to it. So, Book of Lost Names. The second book is called The Awakening by Nora Roberts. I'm kind of in love with this cover, aren't you? It's got the city skyline on the bottom, and then when you flip it over, it's got this beautiful, lush greenery here. So Nora Roberts, for me, can be a real hit or miss. I love some of her work so much, and then others are kind of, I'm not too crazy about them. So I got about 50 pages into this book and absolutely fell in love with it so hard that I had to go out and buy my own copy. because it was so good. Now, some of that might have been excitement because Nora Roberts has finally written a book that has dragons in it. And you know how much I love dragons. But other than that, it's just a really great story. And I really just absolutely, totally admire the main character, whose name is Bree. So Bree is living in Philadelphia. And she's kind of under the thumb of her really, like, tyrannical mother. Her mother's very overbearing. She controls, like, everything about her. She pressured her into getting a teaching degree when she was in college, even though she really didn't want to do that. She wanted to write. So she's stuck in this teaching job that she hates. She's not really happy in her life. She's very shy. She's very timid. But then she finds out that her father, who has been missing in her life since she was a child, has left her this account of money, a lot of money, that her mother has kept hidden from her. So once Bree realizes that she now has a little bit of freedom to do what she wants, she confronts her mother, which is super hard after being under her thumb for so long, and she quits her job, decides she's going to go on a little trip to try to find herself, and spends the summer in Ireland, where her father and his family is from, and she wants to kind of be around her heritage and her roots. Well, she finds out that there is a lot more to her father's heritage than she was told and that she even knew. Some things that have to do with magic and warriors and this ancient but beautiful civilization. She finds a grandmother that she never knew she had, and she finds that she is inherited all these amazing powers that she can now use, but only if she can be true to herself and learn who she is as a person. So yes, this book has some magical elements to it. A lot of Nora Roberts books do. But that's not the main draw of this book. The main draw of this book, honestly, is Bree. And watching her go from this timid woman that is just completely taken advantage of to just blossom into this amazing person who can stand up for herself, can go after things she wants, can do something as crazy as going to Ireland for the summer when she's never even left the country before. I loved her journey so much. That was my favorite thing about this book. This is the first book in a trilogy, so the next book will be out, I believe, this coming November. So you don't have too long to wait. But I really just absolutely love this book. Even if you're not a fan of books that have like fantastical elements in them, I still think you will love this because, like I said, Bree's journey is just really incredible to watch. I absolutely loved her, and I can't wait to see what she does next. And that is The Awakening by Nora Roberts. Well, that's what we have for you guys today. I hope that these books sound amazing to you. Please feel free to put them on hold if you like at either branch. This week, unfortunately, the 12-mile location is closed, so you will not be able to pick up holds from that location, but you can select to have them come to the Liberty Street branch, and you can come and pick them up there. Maybe pop in and say hi to us. Thank you so much, friends, and have a wonderful rest of the day.